This is the Hard Get AFL show. My name's Nick Rinn, joined by Xavier Ellis and Ryan Daniels. What's going on, gentlemen?
A couple of little things to unpack, I'm sure. It's been a great week of footy, for starters. 2 incredible games. Saw one remarkable comeback that we won't probably ever see again. Yeah. And we'll get into that with the Giants and the Lions, I'm sure. There's 2 things. One, your performance last week after the Sandover.
What? You did notice my voice was...
Well, I had somebody, it's a listener, Matt, he's texted me and he said, was that AI Rinny on the pod today? He must have looked fresh because, boy, he didn't sound it. And when I listened back, he's right. Yeah. It doesn't sound like him.
Nah, and also you're a disgrace and you often aren't on the ball as it is.
Yep.
Turning up pissed is not a good thing.
No, it's not.
Josh sent me a clip later that day. He's like, what happened to you? Because it was like a pre-recorded... Streamer Screamer sting into my voice on the day. So there's 2 different people.
Mate, my landscaper, Josh,
we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
But he goes to me, what was Nick doing? Just listing names. Remember that bit that he goes, he just kept listing names?
Listed every player on the Collingwood.
It was like, what are you doing?
Like he was stuck like us. You know, you used to get your CDs and they'd stick on one word.
CDs.
It was like Nick.
Someone gave me a DVD to watch the other day. I was like, I don't know how to watch this anymore. I don't have a DVD player, mate.
Speaking of your landscaper.
Josh, a listener too, by the way.
Hello,
Shout out, Josh.
There have been now 3 separate posts for Eucalypto, is it? Eucalypto landscapes. First one was like, just a general, here's my front garden. And then there was another one of, this is Josh, I'm assuming, doing the work. He's got the rake out.
Yeah.
He's doing some stuff there. Hard yakka, only suitable for the chosen ones. Eucalypto landscapes.
Well, I'm not lifting it.
And then there was the finished version with the grass out looking beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, we know our man has a history of this. He has a history of cashing in.
Roofs caving in.
Plugging stuff, of just getting people in. And often, he might not get it for free, but there's something attached.
No, there's something. A few mates.
No, the usual process.
Who was it again?
Eucalypto landscapes. Now, the usual process is as such. We ask you the most important question. Did you pay for that landscaping?
Yes.
Full tote?
Yes.
That's the follow-up question.
Okay.
If I rang up, or just anyone.
Well, he gave me a good price.
He gave
me a good price.
There you go.
He's not...
How good?
No, I would have paid it more, certainly. Because he did a wonderful job.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, there we
There's
go.
the discount.
No, did you sit there
No.
as the day rolls on?
There's prices, and then there's I can maybe pay cash or...
Question 3. At any point when you're discussing the work to be done and the cost, did you say to him at any point, oh, man, and I'll chuck it on socials?
No, so this is what you guys get confused
9
with.
mentions in Hard
No. This is what you guys get me... Who was it again?
Eucalypto landscapes.
This is what you guys get confused about. I do that stuff to help a small business out.
Oh, here we go.
And off the back of that already... 2 new clients doing some stuff with him. So there's absolutely zero...
So his investment in your discount has paid off.
No, but there's no incentive.
So
I
you
do
get
it to
10%
help
of the
small
new business.
businesses.
He's just a caregiver. This man.
No, but I'm not. I do it honestly, hand on my heart, and kids on it.
Do you know?
I do it to
Shout out
promote
to the little guy.
Hey,
He's a
Nick,
champion
I
of the man.
do. He's a good fella.
You know how, internally we have that thing. Is the program? It's called Moments That Matter. Have you
Oh,
seen that?
yeah.
So it's
You
7
can
West
nominate
here.
people.
Yeah, for doing just out of the ordinary
Moments
things.
that matter. Not saying a load of people in the aisles.
Yeah.
Does he count? Because he works here often. I think I might nominate you.
Might nominate,
because you're such a good human for all of the philanthropic work that you do.
No. But you've gone a couple of times at me for this. But I do it for no other reason.
Just to help Josh and Eucalypto Landscape.
He's a young fella, works for himself, and guess what? Did a wonderful job. Why would I not reward that?
And if you use the code ZAVE69 at the checkout.
The house across the road's not bad.
Oh, and that's a small one.
Yeah, there's some big boys.
I've noticed you're up on a hill there too. Nice view.
Double view.
Ed Sheeran wrote a song about it.
Did you write a song about double view?
On the hill. No.
What are you going to do with
No, in all seriousness, there's some massive houses in the street, like whoppers. I told you what Ted said about our house.
What?
So our house is small.
Yeah.
Not same size block as the others, but our
Single
house
story.
is small. And Ted was like, bloke down the street has Ferraris and Bentleys and whatnot. Yeah. And Ted's like, if we have to live in the shit house, can we at least have a Ferrari? I was like, what? That's how it works, mate. That's not how it works. You've got fresh lawn. Run on it.
Well, your pavement could use, your driveway could use a paint.
No,
Maybe
we
you should
need to
look
put
for
a new
a
drive.
painter that you can plug.
Or just put a new one in.
If anyone's listening, who does driveways, he needs a new one of those, and he'll give you some plugs.
No, I need
Shout
a
out
builder.
Justin Simpson, Swan Districts.
I went to Ireland with Justin Simpson when we were
Did you?
15 or 16.
We've had
Okay,
this-
mate, he's got a painting business.
This is like Groundhog Day. We've had this conversation 3 times.
Have we?
Yeah.
About Simo?
yeah.
Haven't we? Josh, we have, haven't we? But this same bloke's come
Yeah.
up that many times. Now
Well, I'm not
now-
I've got some
now I'm
painting I need upcoming,
Now I'm
okay?
starting to think that Nick's getting paid.
And I'm not helping any of you because you're smart ass.
As he sips from his
What about
soda
we start a
stream.
small
As
business?
he sips from his soda
We've
stream.
got to start a
bottle.
small business for him to
I'll
look
tell-
after us.
I'll tell you what, there's a small business that's not so small anymore.
Oh, sports nuts. Hasn't that been going big?
He was going to put a far inferior brand of turf down, but then he was watching the orders come through. He said, "Hey, just
I
go back to the
I
shop."
don't know about you, Nick, but I cannot open my phone at the moment without being
sports nuts, I
inundated
know.
with
Well,
sports nuts.
wait until the NBA comes.
There was someone, you had like an influencer doing something on it the other day.
No, NBA's coming too.
There was some girl I'd never seen before, and she must have a lot of followers because
Yeah.
she was doing like I love these are great, and I was like, they've sent that.
I haven't seen that either, but
Yeah, there's an influencer.
Have you seen? Have you guys found that like the influencers that you would have followed 10 years ago because they were hot, they're all now like mums and families? You get that in your feeds?
No, what are you
You're
talking
a
about?
creep, Nicholas.
Mate, you just do a couple
I've
of
never
now
looked on
now
Instagram
I'm
and
getting
said you're
served.
hot.
No, I use
please.
Instagram purely
Please,
for sports.
for work function
and comedy.
As a work function.
I don't know what your feed looks like.
You've started to pick up your Instagram stuff. What are you aiming at?
I just share this stuff. It's because Josh makes it so easy. He's just like, do you want to share it? And I'm like,
Yeah,
yes.
hit
I
the
hit the
button.
button. I'm not good at producing my own content.
Yeah, right.
Where I have to like go in somewhere and
Yeah.
Hi,
film
guys.
something, and it's not
Sports
for me.
nuts.
I'll tell you what he is good at doing.
What?
He got the passport out over the weekend.
Huh?
You got the passport stamp.
I didn't go anywhere.
You might have gone over east.
No.
On the weekend?
Next week.
No. I saw your Twitter.
Oh, yes, the border.
I saw a little a bit of news coming out of Melbourne.
Checked out the border.
At the border, had
okay.
to stamp it.
Yeah, that was late last week, maybe Thursday.
Yeah, it was a Thursday. Yeah,
Something around there. I don't know.
it was that one where you just when you hit the send button, do you straight away go to Tom Morris and go, "F- you."
But
I-
didn't we see Tom Morris? What is he liked? He's been liking your content. What's going on here?
There's no war. This is a fabricated war.
Are you sleeping together?
Well, we haven't seen each other in
maybe.
a while, but who knows?
Next week.
So
I can't wait
No.
for you two to have a beer at the Brownlow.
no, you're talking about Jack McRae because I posted some Jack McRae news, and I did get a fair bit of feedback saying, "Geez, he's crossed the border."
You have crossed the border, mate.
But no, it was because he asked to look at other clubs, and I
Yeah.
thought, well, I better check in and make sure that it's not the 2 WA clubs because that's my jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Right? It's my area. And so I checked in, and then
I love how he's claiming it's my area.
during my process
Yeah,
of
yeah.
checking in with clubs and people, it became obvious as to where he might be going. So I
Yeah.
thought, well, I better relay this news.
Right.
It's not about crossing borders. It's
Yeah,
not
it
about
is.
anything like that.
Yeah, it is.
It's just...
What news dried up over here?
Well-
There's no coach and Harley Reid hasn't signed.
Have you seen? I saw something today, and I have no idea where it is because my brain doesn't process information that early. But they haven't moved past Zoom calls yet, and we'll probably get to this in the West Coast part. But like the coaching search is not really hasn't really ramped up yet.
I'm not sure that's the case. I think
Okay.
there are... I know Jared Schofield, for instance, last week went through the process.
Because he's there.
Yeah, well, because he's here.
He's there.
He's at the
imagine
club.
if he was at home and he still zoomed in.
Yeah, he's already there. So they just went into his office.
I think
Probably-
Schofield's going to be an assistant.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so
I
too.
think so
I
too.
think so too. I think that's where we're heading.
Oh, should we actually
No,
get-
Tom did actually liked. I wrote something about the Melbourne Football Club and how they're
Oh, yeah. A
You guys
basket.
can punch on.
basket case.
When's the
I'll
AFL
tell you
Media
what, the Melbourne
Awards?
fans came at me.
Did they?
Jeez, you'd think there's not a lot of them, and you think they're all skiing and eating cheese. They're not. They come at you hard.
They're on Twitter and they're angry.
What were they upset by?
Just I think some of them, they're in a bit of a state of
Like the Richmond
delusion
supporters came at
that
us.
they think everything's
Yeah,
fine. That
Yeah.
Petrarca's staying now and Pickett's staying now and everything's fine. I'm like, if you've got 2 external reviews, you're probably not going that well. If your star
write
player
back?
wants to change. Only to the ones who aren't unhinged. Like if there's people who want a general conversation, I'll
Yeah.
have one. But if people are just coming at me and saying,
Can all the
this
unhinged
is trash, I'm like,
Can all the unhinged that we've got listening, and I'm one of them,
Yeah.
so this is an endearing comment. Can we just heckle Rhino for a while?
Yeah, just everyone go every
don't
day.
call them to arms. I get enough. I
Come
get
on, my
enough.
army, lift.
I get enough.
All right, so what are we going to do? The ones. What was your concept this morning, Zane?
Well, because there's 10 teams that no one cares about at the moment.
Yeah, it was a bit of a struggle.
So I think we probably should look, obviously, if there's a footy topic to talk about, Rhino, so you've you've got Gold Coast. So there's a good topic there to talk about.
Yep.
But if there's not, which player is under the pump a little bit with either getting to be an A-grader, getting to be an All-Australian, about to be delisted, might be trade bait, just someone who's treading water and next year is either a make or break season on going up to be elite or, all the way down to getting the arse.
Gotcha. Or needs to find somewhere else.
Well, that's in there. I just gave you the north and south.
Yeah, okay.
So
There's only 3 points on the compass.
You can squeeze that in there somewhere. Feel free to anywhere on the list there.
All right. Well, let's start off. Go. You let us off, Save.
Let's start with Hawthorn. Happy with that?
Go for it.
I think I made it a little bit clear last week that I was slightly nervous around Port Adelaide.
Yep.
And people were saying, you're only nervous because you want them to win. Everyone external thinks Hawthorn are going to win.
He was a little tight. I saw him on Friday and he was a little tight.
I was tight, and it's sure enough that stat continues. What is it, like 13 games and now 100% strike. The Ken Hinkley stuff. I said it this morning. It's a fart in a bottle.
Yeah.
It's the world's biggest fart in a bottle. You made a good point. If Ken had just winked at Jack and the camera recording winking.
Just done a little flap.
I don't
not even that.
No,
Just
I like
wink.
the flap.
Just wink.
I like a flap.
Also, don't ever do that again. That
Yeah.
was,
You don't like the flap?
was
Who's that?
Predator
That's not for
Patrol.
you.
Come on in and get him.
that's not for you.
But yeah, if he just winked in the camera recording, they would have gone game, set, match, Ken.
I tend to agree.
Anyway, fart in a bottle. Jack shouldn't have posted on Instagram.
Yep.
It was stupidity.
Yep.
And it did obviously just, and don't get me wrong, people go, well, they lost by 85 points to Geelong. Surely some of that vision could have motivated them to probably lift this week.
Yeah.
But it would have been used, like 100%. And to say, no, we're happy with it, deep down they weren't, clearly.
No, clearly.
And Port Adelaide clearly used it. So why would you give ammunition to an opponent, which they did? And the only thing at the end, as I said, it's a fart in a bottle. 20 grand. I'm like, shit, that's an expensive heckle.
That's a lot. I reckon he'd do it again if he had,
Yeah.
if he had the money. I have two thoughts on this. One, loved it as entertainment. As a pure, just non-aligned viewer, I was like, this is amazing.
Well,
I'm now hanging for the presses. So I stayed watching for 45 extra minutes.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Anecdotally, I would turn it off generally a couple of minutes after the game, but I was stuck around for another hour.
Yes, so that is true. And also, what is true is that it's a bad look for footy in that, one, it could have escalated. It didn't, but it could have. And two, you don't...
I don't think it was ever going to escalate.
Well, you don't want
No,
clubs...
going to punch on.
We've got to extend it.
Give me a little bit of extension.
But you don't want clubs at the amateur level doing this. Because if it happens in the AFL, then it happens in the VFL, then it happens at the
But it happens
Amos,
there
and then it
already.
happens at the kids. Yeah, but if you're not fining him,
you
had to fine him.
Yeah.
Because if you don't fine him, then it's almost like a tick of approval.
Yeah.
So the
it's
AFL...
a tax deduction anyway, apparently.
Well,
Apparently,
it doesn't.
yes.
But he didn't get the fine. Port Adelaide got the fine.
So look, at the end of the day, I'm fine with it happening because I think it's great theatre, and I'm fine with them fining him because they kind of have to.
You have to do something.
The money was a lot, and there's a lot of people arguing that he got the same fine as Clarko, and half of Clarko was suspended.
Yeah, but he also got the same fine as Jason
McCartney.
Yeah, and that was just a little bit of a boost.
Well, no, that was worse.
It's all monopoly.
Yes, that was worse,
monopoly
but,
money
just a
anyway.
little bit
It
of
doesn't matter.
The one that, and I said again, we were just talking shit this morning, it was Luke Bruce's 300th game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It detracted, and don't get me wrong, they lost and they're in Bali drinking bintangs.
Yeah.
But just for that moment, and someone said in my chat, did he even need to get carried off? I'm like,
It's 300
it's his 300th game.
Yeah.
Win, lose, or draw.
Yeah.
In 10 years' time, that'll be nice, a good moment for him and his family and whatnot. I think Ken would have been better. They get in the change rooms, close the door in the meeting room, stick that in your ass, Jack Ginnivan, and the crowd
Everybody
cheers.
goes,
And Sicily probably had to let it go a little bit before
Absolutely.
being part of
Yeah,
the
he
chair,
just-
right?
He couldn't stop.
Yeah,
He couldn't
yes, he
stop.
could.
Well, he dragged 20 grand out of Ken. He's probably pretty happy with that.
Just to stick a pin in it, let's say Port Adelaide Hawthorn, round 3 next year, right? It'll
be round one.
Round one,
MCG.
Thursday night.
Yeah, okay. Now, if Hawthorn win, every Hawthorn supporter is in the crowd doing the wings.
Yeah.
Not the wings that you
Not the
did.
little wings?
Not those wings.
No.
Wings.
No, the big. They are
happy with
aren't
that? No,
they?
no, they'll
it's
be-
the old sheety jacket wave. This is going to become a thing.
They will get-
It's going to become a thing.
Well, they got 97 to a final, and I know the doggies are in it, but they're not a massive draw like Hawthorn aren't. But I reckon they'll get an 80 there,
Oh yeah.
Do
an
it.
early one.
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, let me go next, and I will go with Brisbane. So as usual, as Brisbane goes, Joe goes. Like
Yeah.
It was funny because the one I was watching it. It was a quiz night, the quiz paused so we could all watch the last 10 minutes.
Quiz night on a Saturday night's a big move.
Mate, we're all parents. Like, what are you going to do?
Oh,
Was it a
school
parent
one?
quiz night?
Yeah, school one.
Ah,
It's a school
right.
fundraiser. Anyway, so we're all watching the game, and Joe's lining up the first one from 50
I reckon you had the same
pocket.
conversation as absolutely everyone.
Yes.
I know what you're about to say.
This one's going through.
Yeah.
And then the second one, it was like, this one could go anywhere.
Well, he kicked the first one. He can't kick the second.
Correct.
Yeah.
And he did. He nailed them both. So hats off to him. And this is, we're starting to see a trend with Joe. He stands up in big games.
He
was
did
very
great in the
good.
grand final
he was,
last year.
He was arguably their best player in the grand final. Him and Coleman. So you can't argue with that.
Jeez, I forgot about Coleman for a minute.
Yeah.
Let's talk about.
But without Coleman, there would be no Zorko.
Yeah,
Zorko.
let's talk
Yeah,
about Will Ashcroft. My God,
He was
fantastic.
unbelievable.
Wowee.
Unbelievable.
Even when it was 44 points down, he went in and they go, Ashcroft's at least gone in the midfield. He got it and took a bounce or
Yeah.
two. Don't think anything happened, but it stood out that at least he showed something. And then, of course, it snowballed from there.
There was that one where it was like 3-4 efforts, and then he gave the hands, and it was a snap in the pot for a goal.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
that was huge.
Oh, the
Like,
one where he's
he's
getting tackled by
huge.
15
Yeah,
Giants
yeah.
players. I saw a lot of people going, I was holding the ball. Oh, it was a throw. I'm like, I don't think you can call that in the moment. I think he did
Well, they
everything
did
he
on
could.
Friday night.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, they did when Connor Rosie got one early.
That's true. Hey, so that's the second biggest finals comeback ever.
Not since
93 years.
pre-World War II.
Yeah. How did you know that?
That's Geelong, I reckon.
1930.
93 years. That's how insane that comeback was. My question is, can Brisbane win it? And I'm putting a little asterisk on it because they'd have to travel 3 weeks in a row to win it. So it's starting to get to the too hard basket.
That's
Can they win
fine.
the flag?
Yes.
Yeah, I think
You're the
they
favourite.
can skip over
Geelong. So you reckon Sydney, Brisbane?
Yep.
Nick?
I like Brisbane in the grand final. Don't know about the Sydney one yet.
Don't think about it too
What?
hard, mate.
Hey?
He thinks Port Adelaide, Brisbane.
Well, I don't know. I
told you
can't
not
read
to
Port, mate.
I told you, they did beat them by 112 points
Yeah,
5 weeks
yeah.
ago.
Sorry, to miss a significant turnaround.
Exactly. You can't read it. Well, I'll go back to Port for a second. So the thing that I liked about the weekend, it was don't touch on Ken, we'll skip over that. We've already done that. Is they've got this like suite of kids or younger players who are stepping up to be that B plus A graders. So it was always built around the three mids with Horny Francis, Butters, and Rosie. But now there's that emerging crop, not emerging because those other guys are still young. But so you Burgoyne,
He's going to list it again.
Yeah.
three. I think I got three.
He's doing another
I
list.
got three.
Name three. Just bang them out quickly. though.
Burgoyne, Georgiades, Logan Evans, who are that
Well,
B,
Logan
B
Evans,
plus.
my
He
phone was going bananas
was
about.
enormous.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah, out of nowhere. But those three guys, because that was always the thing with Port Adelaide. The top end was really good, and then they had a bunch of who are these blokes? But those three are really stepping up to fill that gap, and that's what gives me some faith. No, admittedly, tentative faith going into the weekend, but for next year and beyond, that there's a bit more to go.
I'm claiming two of those blokes.
Yeah,
I was
Georgiades.
big on Burgoyne and Georgiades.
Yeah.
I was
Big
running
on-
the
big on-
Georgiades fan club
Yeah,
for
you
2
were.
years.
You
You
were.
weren't pumping up Evans after his Sandford
Well, I
start?
just didn't know anything about him, but far out, that kid can play as well.
I might be wrong who the player was, so I might be crediting the wrong person. But Ollie Wines, post game, I think it was, said, Jace Burgoyne had his coming out party. But it's funny, we've said that 4 times this year.
Yeah.
But this was his real coming out party because
It was the biggest
he's
one.
done 4 or 5 really big games for some reason too. I reckon on maybe the big stage, like a Friday night.
Yeah.
because
Yeah, I feel like we all saw him.
we've all seen quite a few of them.
He's
Does
a
he-
special player.
how much do you reckon he weighs?
Probably
Not much.
75.
Yeah, every time
but
you
dripping
think
wet.
he's going to get, you think he's just going to get pulverised, and then he just.
Well, who's the
steps
little
out.
whippet for the Giants? Helmet.
Oh,
Darcy
Darcy
Dusty
Jones.
Jones. He goes hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was getting flicked away
Yeah,
on the
a few
weekend.
times.
Yeah.
And I felt like you don't picture Burgoyne getting flicked away very
No,
often.
no, they're just strong. You can
Yeah.
imagine
But
how
also-
strong he would be, wiry.
Yeah, and Jones will be a star when he gets a chance.
Yeah, they were
to-
putting it in bad
where he
areas
gets that
for him a
power.
lot. Like,
yeah.
what are they throwing to him one-on-one?
Yeah.
Not bad by you, Nick.
I got some points sometimes. When I actually watch the games, helps.
Sydney Swans.
It makes it easy when there's only 2 of them.
Yeah.
Sydney Swans, and I've got to be careful because it was a strange take the other day, apparently, where I said shit can to Marty or didn't say Heaney was overrated.
yeah.
Said Heaney was overrated or
You
something.
did. You got pulled
No,
up.
I didn't say it was
The Swans
overrated.
fans
I
are up
said,
and about.
I said that he wasn't in their level of Bontempelli.
Why do you
and then-
hate Isaac Heaney? You basically said that he's
Because they
no
got him
good
for
at all.
free.
You said he's
because
no
they got him
good.
for free, and it pisses me off that Sydney pick up free players all the time. and Goulden, put him in there. Oh, Dad used to work in the cafeteria. Oh, let's sign him then. Free hit. Why not?
One thing I've learned.
Oh, you want some more money? Have another million. Have another million, Sydney.
If you ever want to pick apart Sydney, you just go straight to the academy.
Oh, yeah.
And then straight to the old Cola.
Cola.
Yeah,
Yes.
and you get to
Cola.
go.
No, in all seriousness, Taylor Adams, so Mills out, hamstring,
Yeah.
ruled out of the prelim already. This is 10 days ago, 8 days ago, whatever. Does he walk back into a grand final?
Mills?
Yeah.
He's the captain.
Yeah,
I
but
think
he
so.
hasn't done a lot, hasn't played
He's
a
had
lot.
a good
No,
year.
he was getting
You
into
take the
decent
risk.
form.
You know, but you take the risk. He's getting into decent form when he went back.
I think so. I
So
think
who are some of the ones that have...
For the record, I would. If
Phil Davis is always the one that sticks out.
and the failure.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they like rushed him in and
Maybe
it
he
just
warmed
didn't
up on
work.
the ground before it. and-
Yeah.
Sam Reid played for Sydney
Yeah.
2 years ago and just was a
That's right.
non-contributor. Remember they
Another
let
one.
Logan
But that-
McDonald out?
Yeah.
That grand final, everybody was a non-contributor except for Chad
No,
Warner.
but he was as bad as
Yeah.
ever. And Taylor Adams, is he going to be another unlucky story 2 years in a row?
It's going to be the story of the week, isn't it? If they get through,
I reckon we said earlier, though, that when Parker eventually punches through the banner and gets himself in,
Yeah.
he's not going to get out.
Yeah.
no one needs to have a bigger prelim than Taylor Adams.
I don't know if he'll come in, will he?
Well,
Mills-
I would think he probably will. Who are you bringing in instead? Like a kid?
I don't know.
Who didn't
Corey
play?
Warner or Caden Cleary's already in the team, isn't
Yeah,
he? I think
I don't know who they bring in. Maybe it's Adams, but
And Brad-
like what I say, usually it's last one in, first one out.
Who was the sub? Is it the other academy kid?
McInerney got subbed off. He might feel a bit of
It was
pressure.
Braden. Why can I not remember his name? 16.
Campbell.
Oh, Campbell.
Braden Campbell. He was a sub,
No,
wasn't
he was excellent. He has
He
to play.
subbed on.
Yeah, he subbed on and went
And he-
massive.
and
That's
he
what
was
so he
huge.
comes in and then someone else goes as a sub, right?
Let's go to Geelong. Okay, how's this for some stats? So, in the last 21 years, they've played finals 18 times.
Yeah.
18 out of 21.
Poor club to follow.
In the last 21 years, again, top four, 16 times.
Yeah.
Top four, 16 times.
Crazy.
They've played in 46 finals in that time, about to be 47. That's an average of 2.3 finals per season for 21 years.
And to think 06 was the disaster. Remember they had the external review.
Yeah. Yep.
Did all that, and they won 07.
About
And that's
to
just,
sack
that's
Bomber.
just kicked off incredible amount of success.
It does help when you talk about academies. Their father-son crop has helped along the way. Also,
They have, look, every club, well, not every club, some clubs have massive
Cura.
advantages.
Yeah.
So Sydney's is obviously the academy, and obviously they're
Cola.
a really big club, and,
Yeah.
and Cola was one for a while. Although they don't get Cola,
they
anymore,
don't.
but it might come back.
Yeah.
It couldn't come back.
Gotta bring it back.
And then you've got, Collingwood's had some luck with father sons. Plus they're a massive club that helps too. And
They
then,
get the showpiece games.
yeah. Then you've got Geelong.
Well,
Their
the
advantages
Bulldogs
are
have had the two big licks recently.
Bulldogs have
Jamara
those
and
two.
Darcy.
Correct.
Yeah.
Geelong's big one has always been A, yes, father sons, but B,
Farms.
the lifestyle. So if you're
Well, let's just say bloody well-run club
yes,
too.
Yeah,
but
also.
if you're wired a certain way, you want to be in Geelong, like
Yeah.
we saw with Jeremy Cameron. It's a
Yeah.
perfect mix of being city and being country, and just having that it's that hometown feel. So they have advantages too. That's part of it. The big question this week will be if your man Tomahawk is fit. Do you play him?
I got no
Do you
idea.
play Shannon Neal, or do you play both of them?
No, I wouldn't play both. But the way I look at it, and I reckon Chris Scott trusts Hawk, like really trusts him.
It'd be a big
the
decision to
run.
not play him.
Oh, yeah, I think to play him's the way harder decision to play him. But if they both didn't get a kick, would you be surprised if Shannon and Hawk didn't get a kick?
If they're both in the same side.
No. If they played and they both didn't get a kick, I'd be like, well, Hawk hasn't played and he's a young fella.
Yeah.
If one of them was to kick 5 in a final, who would it be?
It'd be Hawkins.
Yeah, the answer is Hawkins, but there's no form. There's no chance.
Well, there was
won't
800
snap in the
goals worth of
VFL.
form.
Yeah, but that's that's
it-
past.
but the champions are different breeds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I think as much as you'd love to see the young kid get a game, and we're talking 2 weeks ahead here, we're talking grand finals, really, aren't we? Because the prelim's a prelim. But if it gets to that decision, it's going to be a tough one.
It's still good because Hawkins makes things happen where Shannon Neal's still in that period of his career where he's relying on other people to help him make things happen a lot.
I reckon McCartan would shit his pants more playing on Hawk than he would. I've got no idea, and it's a tougher decision.
GWS, so that is going to take some getting over to cough up. And 2 weeks in a row and only to
Did you see
a
the
bigger
stat?
league.
So there's two stats. You had one this morning about the time in front, but also 94% of game time in the finals, they were in front. That's the Sydney game and the Brisbane game. And I think you said 250 minutes
and
front.
Yeah, and 16 combined.
16 behind.
Yeah.
Combined. Like, to not win those games.
That's pretty tough.
That's hard to do.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Harder to do than win.
it is. That
Yeah.
one. That is honestly. That is the.
So
And I
this-
love the Giants, but that might be the biggest choke we've ever seen in a back-to-back finals
over 2 weeks.
ever. They had those games won, done and dusted.
I've only ever been proved right. I have opinions every week.
You do.
And 99% wrong.
I'd say you hit it about
the
60.
two I've nailed. Josh Tracy, Fremantle can't win without him. Tick.
Yeah.
That big tick. And I wrote last week, I don't trust the Giants. They show
Still
brilliance
don't trust them.
for periods, and I've said it's taken me 10 years to work it out, but I don't trust
Yeah.
them.
So
And
where-
you could also the Sydney one, you could claim that was a really good team just beating him.
Nah.
Like they came over.
No, they
better. But
folded
the-
up like a deck chair, mate.
Well, yeah, but this is far. It makes
That
it
was a
far
double deck
clearer.
chair.
Like you gotta you could have managed
At
something
home.
at home. But that, and
Remarkable.
if you had to believe,
But also,
going into finals, someone would have told you that there'll be two moments late in the game where Sam Taylor will get beaten or make a mistake, and that'll be what sort of changes it. You just wouldn't have believed it.
he's just so long, Joe. Like you watch
He just had it.
Taylor, and you're like, any other player, he's probably able to
Yeah.
spoil that.
I reckon their small window, has just closed for
Well,
a few years.
I wanted to ask
GWS.
that.
Toby Green's not going to be better.
No.
Kelly's not going to be better.
Cadman's
Cornelio's
not
not going
ready
to be
to make the
better.
leap,
Callum Ward's just about
Ward's done. Whitfield's not going to get better.
Coming in Perry might
Hogan,
leave.
you just got 77 goals out of. Is he going to do that next year? I hope so. But
They would flip it out and say that Callahan, Cadman, Bedford, Green.
I said closing for a little period. It might open again, but I reckon it's closing for a while now.
There was one sort of red flag when Brisbane were getting going, and then Lockie Keefe took a mark, and I just thought, like, what's he doing in the side? That's
No, we
not
love
great.
Keefe. We love
he's
him.
great, but he's in case of emergency.
He's the type of
break
player
glass.
that if he's in your 22, you're
It's
not
a-
unbeatable.
no.
He was out.
Yeah.
And Briggs was a late withdrawal or whatever against Brisbane, remember? And then he
Okay,
rucked
yeah.
and played well, and then he was in.
But then he was forward, it just didn't.
Yeah.
Just a bit icky.
Let's go to Carlton.
Gave me the ick.
He gave you the
Gave me
ick.
the ick.
Carlton. So this is now in the areas of big year. So Adam Chera has been spoken about as signing a new deal.
Yeah.
And then I've also seen watch this
Trade.
space on
Yeah.
trade bait.
Yeah. I think
Adam Chera for me,
I think it's the first one.
signing a new deal. But I think next year is the year he has to repay some faith. I don't think he's got anywhere near the ceiling he's supposed to have.
I just don't think that. No, I think the injuries aside this year, he was playing really well before that. I just don't think there's a. Adam Chera's ceiling to me is the B pluser.
But that's not what they got him for.
No, they gave him as an A.
Or did they though, or did they just think, hey, we've got Cripps, we've got Walsh, let's get a third guy? They don't need him to be the number one guy.
19 games the year before. He played more, but that was finals, so injured for the chair.
Yeah, they thought he was
13
gonna be better.
games, 18 games, inclusive of finals in there. So, like,
Well, I know Adelaide had an internal rating system which had him rated as the best inside-out mid over the next 5 years. Like he was going to be the best of that bunch.
And Adelaide have shown such a
Adelaide,
great,
this is
great
great.
knack of
Yeah,
recruiting.
just as an anecdote.
Yeah. So
he's
one that I
played
knew.
since 2022 5 games where he's played less than 40% game time. So been subbed off with something that's occurred.
So he's going to the same place, I believe, that
Was it
Elliot
Qatar?
Yeo went to and Jeremy
Yeah.
McGovern went to last year, and they both had really strong seasons. Yeo
Yeah.
finally got on the park, and McGovern was an All-Australian. So that's promising. He's going to go there and try to get those hamstring problems fixed, because if he can't fix that, there's no point.
Well,
You
yeah,
said
then it
multiple
becomes a
times this
risk.
year. He's a liability.
That's what it is.
Yeah. But the best version of Adam Chera is a B
B
plus
plus.
as your
Okay.
third
Yeah.
guy. And I think that's
So, what about an
enough.
All-Australian squad?
In his best year.
Squad.
Best year?
In his best year, I
In the
reckon you
40.
could get in the 40. But
Okay.
I can never see him making the team, because he's going to be the 20th best midfielder in the league.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
at
they
best.
picked 20 of them in the All-Australian team.
Yeah, a bit of pocket.
He might be 21.
Yeah. Jeez, you're stiff if you're a midfielder in the 40.
Okay, let's do the rules you gave me on it were a bit tough for some teams, but Collingwood, I'm not sure there's anyone really in that sort of frame. I do think that Ed Allen needs to get to a point where he has such a good summer that there's not a question as to whether he's in the team or not.
Round one, yeah.
He has to demand a spot, and I think that's the best thing for Collingwood. I love this kid. He only played 2 games, but in his last one, 21 and a goal, 6 tackles, and a mix of contested and uncontested. He's huge. He is a massive, massive midfielder. I think he's the kind of player that Collingwood now need to start putting some time into because, after Nick rattled off every single player in the Collingwood list for the last 4 years.
One that he didn't rattle off, I saw on Saturday night, Darcy Cameron. Jeez, he's a big,
Did
tall...
you see him? Where did you see him?
At a bar.
Yeah, okay.
Been down in Albany and whatnot.
He's a big man.
But lovely guy.
Oh, you were down hosting your event?
No, I was on the piss.
Oh, well, did you host that event?
First
last
time
week?
I've ever drank mid-strength beer.
And?
Whole night, no headache.
Woke up pretty fresh the next day.
Okay.
Talked a lot of shit in the evening too, mate. It was a good combo.
What was your beer of choice? What was your mix?
Nah, we're at I don't know. One of those fancy joints.
And in Albany, were you?
No, he just got back from Melbourne.
Oh,
He was
he'd
flying
come
back
down.
out.
Yeah, gotcha, okay.
Good fella and a good year All-Australian.
Yeah, he's a good player.
He could be, just quickly, if Gawn goes down, Grundy goes down, he might be.
If everybody goes
No,
down.
but the top, he was in the squad this year.
Yeah, I like that.
So his goal would probably be the All-Australian ruck.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Yeah.
That's reasonable. So that's where I'm at with Collingwood. I don't think there's anything. I think most of the players they have. I almost put Pendlebury here and Sidebottom because I was like, if you're going to play on,
Sidebottom's a good one.
You need to contribute.
Yeah, if Sidebottom's a good one.
Yeah, but you'd back them in to do that.
It's a little bit like the Hawthorn, Gunston and Bruce. Like there's obviously a
The
balance
extra
of
year,
experience and leadership.
Yep.
So you get credits for that.
Yeah.
So you're not hung out to dry for the lacking of performance at times.
Yeah. You don't want to be playing 1 year too long though. It's never good.
Geez, I could do it with the cash. Try and say no to $500,000 to turn up the trainer.
We'll go to Essendon. So talk of St Kilda loading up a Godfather offer for Zach Merrett. So I don't know what the years were, but it was 1 million plus, which is
he'd be on that now anyway.
He'd be on that now.
Yeah.
Anyway. It's got to get bigger on the way
Apparently he's
down.
under $1 million.
Oh, well, leave immediately. What are you doing?
Well,
They should go around and tell the players at Essendon how shit they've been. You're losing 10% of yours.
Yeah,
you're losing
Zach's
10. You're losing 35%. Zach should be earning $3.5 million.
Yeah, he should.
Yeah.
I think this is whether or not that's going to happen.
Well, it's kind of like
a long
it's
shot.
not in the right spot, like to go to St Kilda for that. And St Kilda also don't have many assets to give back to get a trade done, right?
I'm not going to talk about the specifics of that one, but I want to talk about a
Why is
bigger
that? Because
story.
Tom Morris broke it?
No.
You don't want to talk about
because I don't know enough.
Let's not talk about that one.
Sorry, Joshy. Cut. Welcome back to the Hardball. Yeah, we'll edit that. We've edited that out. I can't believe you said that.
No, I don't know the specifics of it, so I can't talk to it. But what I was going to say is I think we will see more and more of this type of thing.
Throwing
which is,
big cash, big dollars.
okay, you've got two parts of it. One, you've got the clubs who suddenly have a lot more money, right? The CBA's increasing. You've got $3 or $4 million per club to do what you want.
Yeah.
Some of those clubs have that money already tied up in future contracts. Other clubs have suddenly got a giant pile of cash. We've seen Hawthorn, right? Barras and Battle. And we've got other Fremantle seem to have a pile of money that seems endless. There's clubs that have set up themselves to do this right now. For the players, you're Zach Merrett. You've got 3 years to run on your deal. You're earning, let's say he's earning 900.
So
Let's just say
can
it's
you just
900.
craft a little bit more around this? So Morris has tweeted, Saints are coming for
Saints are
Merrett.
loading
Saints are
up.
interested, and they've reached out to his people.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Having
and he's
informal
under $1 million.
discussions.
Yeah, and they're obviously going to have to pay him more than that.
Right.
But there's no
They're gonna
suggestion that
offer-
it's gone any further.
Kind of an offer. They're trying to put together an offer you can't refuse kind of deal.
Yeah. So what is happening with the players is if you're Zach Merrett and you've got 3 years to go and you're earning, say, 900, but in the new world, you should probably be on 1.2.
Yeah.
So
In the new world,
You
in
want
the
to talk
current-
long-term contracts with me?
But it's kind of nice, isn't it,
Mac
to have
Andrew. We haven't
interest
got a
from
Mac
another
yet.
club to maybe get your contract renegotiated.
Yes.
Yeah.
So two things can happen. One, you'd go the Tom Barras route where the rumours. I'll renegotiate. No? Okay, I'll go. Right? Or there's this version which might be,
I'll go.
You know what? We probably should pay Zach more. So,
Well, they probably should start with
well,
this.
they
Yes.
probably should, but also it's a contract. So if you're those clubs, you're going, well, hold on, you signed it, mate.
Well, that's Matty Rose's
They
job
would
now,
say,
we think.
Matt Rosa would say he didn't need to download Tinder to get a new we would have paid you extra. You don't need to bring the new option over.
Sometimes you need a little pressure. That's all I'm
little
saying.
swipes.
Little pressure.
Yeah.
Okay, so sometimes,
Couple of swipes.
So now
Is
he's
that
got
what they got a super one, don't they?
he's got Essendon's attention.
Right.
Is what I would say.
So similar to another radio station hanging around.
Correct.
Yeah.
And if you just let that be known, it was no good to you if no one knows.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Keep an eye on
You know
Rhino's
what I
Twitter.
mean? You know what I mean? Who is it? Nova?
SEN.
SEN would be
SEN.
SEN for
Hey,
sure.
Hutchie. G'day, Hutchie.
No.
All right.
You and Goss and
No,
Scotty
that was me.
Cummins
That's
in
you
your
now.
breakfast
Oh,
show.
me.
Oh, look at him. He's getting flustered.
Yeah, Goss and
Fremantle-
Scotty, Goss and Zave.
Fremantle Football
Goss
Club.
saving the cum dog.
Now I'm doing a
No.
in the cum
You know,
dog.
cum
that's
dog.
that's the A-League player, wasn't it? There was an A-League player called Cummins. They called him the cum dog.
I don't know. Look it
Right.
up.
Okay.
Catchy title.
Freo, I'm just putting a sprinkle of acid over a handful.
Okay.
Because I think this is the last
Okay.
year, and I know they're probably contracted a bit longer, but I think this is the last year I can see
Which team is this? I'm stuck
Freo.
on the cum dog.
Freo.
Okay, Fremantle.
Sturt,
Okay.
Frederick,
Yep.
who was the other half forward that was running around?
Emmett.
Emmett,
Oh, yeah.
Sonny.
Yep.
There's another one in there that
Switter.
Switkowski.
Yep.
That whole collection need to go up a level.
Yep.
We have been put on notice.
The entire collection need to go up a level because at the end of
Bailey Banfield.
Bailey Banfield's another one. They've all got contracts. They've all just signed again. Sturt did. Banfield did.
I think Emmett's still
Sonny
hanging.
has.
Emmett's waiting.
Sturt. Yeah. They've all.
Yeah.
Except for Emmett's. Yeah.
Yeah.
They just need to go up another run because otherwise, how many trouble do they have scoring?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if they don't go up another rung, I think at the end of the year you just got to blow it up. And Bolton will help that clearly.
Well, that's
Bolton will show
yeah.
the disparity, right?
Well, and the thing is,
Yeah,
if
Bolton will show that.
yeah, he'll rock over
shit.
there. Oh, small forwards can do that.
Yeah.
he could have an average season next year and kick 35.
Yeah.
right?
Well, he could have average uni be their best by far.
Yeah. So what he will do if he comes in, which I think he will, he's going to take absolutely the best medium to small defender. Like, there's no way you're not going to be able to do that. So then what does that do for us?
And maybe we appreciate Switkowski's hustle.
And Switkowski's
as
further up the
opposed-
field.
Yeah, but he's not a match winner. But maybe if he gets a little bit more respect, like a Dylan Moore,
Yeah,
Brett
yeah.
Daniels
Yeah.
type, that he's hustling away up the field and burrowing away. Whereas at the moment you sit there and go, well, Jai's not kicking a goal.
Yep.
Tracy's doing everything he can, and these guys aren't match winners. Or aren't winning the match for
So
them.
who's
But
doing
maybe
it?
they're not match winners.
They're bringing it to ground and they're not
maybe
doing
we'll
anything.
respect the burrowing.
They've been miscast.
yeah.
maybe, in a role that's not for them.
Yeah.
What's,
But maybe they can do other roles.
Now
Really
maybe we'll admire the hustle
I
because
was
they've
going
got
to say
some
Nathan
cream.
O'Driscoll. Is he? What's he? He's out of contract.
I think he's
I
out.
like him.
Yeah. He's out. Yeah.
He was rumoured to go somewhere the other day.
Port,
I
there was
saw.
a Port link.
Yeah,
Port,
there
yeah.
was Port Adelaide.
I
wasn't
liked him,
there?
especially he came in at the back end of the year. He was very good those last couple.
Okay, is this
He
me?
was pretty good.
Okay, this is me.
I like where he
No,
looked.
not very good.
He was good.
All right, let's do
Very
let's
good.
do the Western Bulldogs. Now, it's fair to say that we could do this every single year, but I do think that is fair because at some point this guy is going to explode. Jamari Ugle-Hagan.
Oh, we have used him every year.
So 2023 kicked 35 goals, 35. Then this year he's kicked 43 goals, 35. So he's
a good
8 goal
return.
improvement
Yeah.
and played one less game too. So that's pretty good. He's still, guess his age?
21.
23.
22. Right in the middle. Now, I went back and I thought, I didn't have a lot of time to go through everyone, but I thought, right, I'll just go to Charlie Curnow. Right? We all agree he's probably the best forward in the game when he's up and running.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
In the top
Yeah,
two at least.
yeah,
top
yeah.
three.
Has to
So
be.
I wanted to figure out when he first,
just wanted to look
how
like-
old he was when he kicked 40 for the first time.
Right.
He was 25.
Yeah.
And that
Don't
was a-
forget how Pox Carlton were, though.
Yeah.
And he had lots of bad injuries early.
he
days.
did. And that was a 64 goal season.
He fell down the stairs or something and then lost the year.
Something like that.
was
So
some
this-
weird
Did he
thing.
get that on the boots once?
That was before the
that
draft.
was pre-draft. Yeah, that's
That was
why he
pre-draft.
slid because he was a bad character.
He's a Ripham character.
Yeah.
And so's Ed, his
Yeah,
brother.
I think
yeah.
Carlton
Yeah.
might have pushed that one out there.
Right.
I do,
yeah.
remember, I do remember
Don't draft
another,
this bloke. He's awful.
another draft kid from that year telling me, like, if you had to ask me who would have got done out of our draft class, it would have been Charlie. like, so,
Yeah, right,
I was
right.
like, oh, so very out of character, though.
So he's only 22. Curnow is 25. My point is, there's plenty of time for him to grow.
Yeah.
I think he needs to get that to 50 goals next year. And I think that's reasonable.
It has to be over
It's
50.
another
Yeah,
seven.
it has to be over 50.
Yeah, and there's every chance that there's going to be a point where he clicks in, might be next year, where he's just a Coleman contender every
Yeah,
year.
no, that's what I expect.
Is there a better combination going forward than him and Sam Darcy? There's not.
Do you
No.
leave Darcy as a forward?
yes.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
Okay.
Now that you've got English signed long term,
How long did he sign for?
6 years, I think it was. 5 years or 6 years.
We'll
And
get-
that's it.
we'll get
If
to
you
Gold Coast.
extrapolate out his hit out success, he'll win 6 in that period.
Yeah.
1 a year. I'm a Team English man, but
Are you?
I thought, nah. I was a
He
big
needs a
fan.
Jordan Sweet next
This
to him.
year, like, I just could not believe it.
Yeah, that is an amazing stat. I
Because
don't-
if you're not going to win it, you need to be getting 25 on the outside, and he didn't do that a lot this year.
the Bulldogs need to go out, and they've got Brendan Lade there, so that doesn't make any sense either. Because I was going to say they need to go get someone who was the master
No,
of
Brendan
ruck
Lade
craft.
was the
Yeah,
master
Brendan
of
Lade
craft.
was a genius.
He was the craft
So
man.
if he can't help him,
He
I
is
just
what
don't
he
You know
think
what it
it's
is?
in him.
Matty Spanger.
Gets a spang.
They need to get the long hair flowing out in space.
You're going to say give him a 1-year contract, just throw him back in.
And we used to call them just flat out. You didn't sign contracts.
Oh, really?
You signed annuity payments. Every year just meant another extra bit on the end of your retirement payment.
We'll go to Melbourne. It's hard. There's three very clear people who are at a weird crossroads here.
Yeah.
And that's Petrarca, Clary, and Pickett. All three who have had like little bits of I want out or I'm off the rails completely kind of thing and not just delivering. And that'd be what? 30% of the salary cap?
Do you know what I would have rathered with Hawthorn? It'd be fine if Tommy, of course, fine if TB goes there and battle. I just would have loved him. Here's $1.5 million, Christian. Like, really put some pressure on.
Yeah.
Because at the moment, you just feel like he's clearly gettable.
I wonder if they... Because clubs plan for this stuff so far in advance, right? And they have
you can't plan
can't
for
plan for
Petrarca.
him.
That's
Nah,
what I'm saying.
throw his lot
That's what I'm
in.
saying. So if you've already committed to battle and you've committed to Barris and you've chased hard and you've made a commitment to them, and then this happens and you're like, geez, I wish we'd known that. I wish we'd had that.
Because it'd be a different story, Petrarca.
Absolutely.
Out of Hawthorn. Quickly on Clary. If he has another year like this
Same.
year, are you thinking...
They got to move him.
Well,
can't-
they'd move him this year if they could.
It's you can't just move
No.
that contract.
But you got to pay. Like you got to move him and pay and just cop the whack.
He can't. There's still
I think
6 years
our
left.
kids will be driving by the time he's out of contract.
Yeah.
Like this is going to go forever.
Yeah.
William will be
it's on-
playing with him.
He will. It's huge money.
Yeah.
Like huge
So
money.
what's the plan?
I don't know.
You give
There
it
is-
one
yeah,
more
there is
year
a- I
and
don't
go,
know.
let's hope?
Your plan has to be we will get him right, and we have to. There's no other option. The other option is to just eat the
But
contract.
can it
Well,
come
you got
back?
to eat half. You got to try to get someone to pay half.
At the end, so fast forward 12 months.
Yeah.
Even half's a shitload
I
out of
know.
the cap.
Yeah.
Fast forward 12 months, we're
Yeah.
talking about Clary, what's happened?
Oh, I reckon we're in the exact same position we are now.
Look, I can't
Arguing
see
about
how
what
he
they
has
do
a
with him.
worse preseason than he had last year. So
That would take some doing.
let's just. I think maybe. What did he have this year? Give that a 4.
Out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still a high bar.
I give him a 5.
Slight
Some nights he
increase.
was
Hope
on a
so. That's what I'm hoping
6.
for.
But
what I'm
most-
hoping
I'm rooting for a 7.
That whole club is under
Yeah.
the microscope.
Yeah, like if they won, if they were finished bottom 3 next year, would you be surprised?
So that piece I wrote on the weekend about them, when I started diving into the numbers of their history, it is awful.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they had 13 seasons where they won more games than they lost out of 50. Like
Yeah.
this was a club that was a basket case, and this last little 5-year stretch is the first sign of positivity they've had in
Yeah.
decades.
Yeah.
Decades.
And they won one flag, and none of their supporters could go and watch it.
Yeah.
Well, a couple did.
Oh yeah, a few did. Yeah.
One bloke did jail time.
Then they watched a bit of daytime TV in the clink.
Okay, who's up now?
Zafe.
Well, let's go over to North Melbourne. You got the young kids there, so a little bit of pressure with Wardlaw, Sheasel. Powell finished top 5 in the best and fairest, but I'm going to put a little bit of pressure on the man who won the best and fairest.
LDU.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
What more do you
I
want from
agree
him?
here.
Nah.
What, he went into 2 best and fairest?
well, no, mate, you could nearly be top 10 in that best and fairest.
Actually,
but,
wasn't finished 9th.
But to be fair, like he has an open-ended amount of ability.
Yep.
If he came out and was the best player in the competition next year,
Yeah.
because he was kicking 3 and having 28, like a la Chris Judd,
Yeah.
it wouldn't knock me over.
How old's Luke Davis-Uniacke?
25.
Yeah, it'd be 25.
Just turned 25. Yeah.
I feel like, and this is not a criticism. He's a beautiful player, but I'd love to see him be in the top 5 or 6 midfielders in the competition.
He's capable. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's got
If he-
every attribute for that to happen.
So you're not shocked when he has 30 and kicks 2, but you're also not shocked when he has 20.
and he's tagged
18
out of
or
it.
20.
and-
Like
yeah.
he needs to get rid of those ones and get have 25
Yeah.
as your basement.
And he had
almost.
those issues with his body early and whatnot.
Yeah.
And this year's obviously a sign that his body's going well, and he deserved it best and fairest win. I thought Cherry would win it, but I just reckon.
Sheasel didn't. Yeah, Sheasel. How far?
Well, Sheasel he missed by 20. It would have been touch
Oh, he
and
missed
go
a
at the
lot
end.
of games.
Missed a
The
couple
last
at
at the end.
Yeah.
Hey, can I ask? There's only 30 seconds to go. Jack Darling's had a medical with North Melbourne this morning. He's having lunch with them as we speak. Or maybe it's over by now.
Yeah.
Do you like the idea of them picking up Jack Darling for 2 years?
I'm not sure it's a great fit. I would have thought more, if anything, a Melbourne for a year or whatever.
For Jack?
Yeah.
Right.
I just don't see it being. Surely North could go out and get a 20-year-old from the state league and go, well, we'll have a crack at that.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Jack's played 296
298.
games. 298 games. 2 years, touch and go. Hasn't been Jack Darling that we've seen in 2018 example for a while.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a great fit, but Clarko and Mickey Barlow, the magician down there.
He's in the tent.
If
He's
anyone
well in
can
tent.
do it.
That surprises that criticism. Sort of everything North Melbourne did was the right decision and touched by gold.
Okay, let's go to...
I'm wearing a UFC shirt if you want to fight.
Let's go to the Richmond...
My head's 80% titanium. I can just keep standing.
Don't tell the same story again.
Yeah.
Richmond
I'm
Football
tough.
Club. Adam
trying to
Uze
get
is
that.
the one.
Yeah.
So I looked through the players. I was like, I don't care about any of them. Like,
Who are they?
Taranto is who he is. Hopper's who he is. Nank is who he is. Noah Bolter maybe could get a little, stand up a little bit more.
I would
But
have
he's-
looked to move Noah
But I
Bolter.
like Noah Bolter.
Whilst they're all going, I would have thrown Noah Bolter.
The rest of
You
them are
want
just...
Noah
So
Bolter?
you
Is
may
another
as
thing?
well get as many as you can.
The rest of them are babies.
Yeah.
I suppose you could say the list manager because it's a big draft for them. But I think the one is Uze.
Who is?
What did Uze sell to get the job?
Is it Blair Hartley?
Oh, it sounds familiar. Something
Yeah,
Blair.
yeah. Because the other guy came over, didn't he? Was it that one like mid-year or
Matt
was that
Clark,
start of the year?
the guy's come to West Coast.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was mid-year. Yeah. So for me, it's Uze because things are only going to get worse, right? They're not going to suddenly get better overnight. So what he needs to do is he needs to, aside from wins and losses, show that he has.
They'll win 2 games next year.
He just needs to develop kids.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they need to see improvement in not just the ones they draft, but the ones they have.
Yeah.
So he needs to find 5
Who
of them
do
and
they-
turn them into real players. So
Do they have any?
well, let's just say it's like Sonsi and
Yeah, okay.
Who's
Matt,
the
Matt something.
those guys.
Matt something.
Oh, bonghead. Away he goes. Matt.
So Sonsi and Matt something.
And Matt. Sonsi
Like
and Matt.
those guys, like a Steely
his
Green.
name?
Like
Yeah.
just find 5 dudes who
There's
you
no
can,
one jumping off the page
You
yet.
can stand at the board at the end of the year and go, hey,
Who
look
was
at
their
these
first
5.
round draft pick this year?
They didn't have it, didn't
McAuliffe.
they?
Had McAuliffe. I don't know if he was a first rounder, but he's good. Kane McAuliffe. I like him.
I thought they didn't have
I
it
like
because that
him
was
a
the back end of Taranto. Is that back end of Taranto?
I think you're right.
Yeah, I don't think they had one.
Yeah. Or was it Matt something?
It was Matt something. Oh, Matty.
Yeah, but so back to Uze. What do you reckon
am I
he
thinking of?
pitched?
As in when he started?
Yeah, what do you reckon he pitched as the job?
Transition. I can get this club in the right transition mode. We know where we're at. We remain competitive. Blah 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 blah. I reckon he's in deep. He's in deep.
They are in trouble.
Yep. I think we said at the start it's the toughest job in footy because you are at the bottom.
Well, and they didn't know they're at the bottom either,
No,
so
no,
they've got a surprise at the bottom.
Yep.
At least
They
if you
went
know
for it.
you're
Had he
there.
taken over now, it's a different job to then taking over a year ago.
Oh,
You know?
yeah.
You've
The
almost lost it.
last two games,
Well,
they,
you've
they
almost
didn't have
lost a
anyone
year.
whose name started with an M, so not Matt. I'm thinking of someone, but I don't know. It's not Matt. All right.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think they had a first round draft pick.
Yeah, no, that's part of the Toronto Hopper stuff. Adelaide, Josh Rochelli's the one for me. Like,
Yeah,
it's a
absolutely,
sort of
yeah.
crossroads year. Get dropped for the last year. Too much lip. Doesn't seem like he fit. Something's gone wrong between him and the leadership.
Was it the corn star, Kane, who was doing a bit to camera the other day? I saw it last night. And in the background, there's all these footy jumpers hanging. And there's like Jeremy Cameron, and then there's like Max Gorns, and there's, stars. Harley Reid's is
Yeah.
West Coast. And
Rochelli.
number 8 for Adelaide hangs there, Rochelli.
Where is this hanging?
In the AFL, where Kane's doing his bit to camera that he
AFL
does.
website.
Yeah,
okay.
whatever. We saw it on Twitter.
Yeah,
Right.
oh, yeah, getcha.
So they've got all the jumpers ringing around on the wall, and Rochelli's the Adelaide one.
Yeah.
I was like, I guarantee that won't be it next
Well, it depends
year.
when they put them up. I would love to know
His
when
first year they
because
would
if
have
it was
designed
that
that graphic.
first 6 weeks of his career, they would have been like, "Hey,
Yeah.
this guy, let's bank on this guy."
Yeah.
Let's
I forget
attach.
there's another bloke in 23.
But
who's
just,
pretty good.
Well-
just go get Isaac.
Yeah, just get the 23,
just
mate.
Get the 23.
Just go grab it off the rack and stick it there.
And you know what? Even if Isaac didn't work, you could have said, "Nah, it's McLeod."
I was going to say, if you see it, I
right.
still
Yeah.
think of McLeod.
Yeah, it's a throwback to Andrew McLeod.
Yeah.
He's under the pump. You're right. I think for multiple reasons, he needs to have consistent
Well, yeah,
form.
and he needs to figure out what he is.
Is
as
there
well.
is there a
Is he
world
forward?
that
Is he
is there
should
a
he want to be mid?
world that he's floated this year?
Oh, mate, look, if trade period opened and suddenly a story came out saying Josh Rochelli wants out.
He's
would-
Victorian?
Would it
Yeah.
surprise you? No, yeah, he is. Would it surprise you because of all the things that have happened?
No, it wouldn't surprise
But
me.
it was interesting when all the shit was going down at the end of the year and he got dropped, and
Yeah.
disciplinary and all that. There was some Rochelli defenders out there from clearly the Rochelli camp was pushing some stuff.
Yeah.
The stats were actually in his favour.
No.
Like he was their best
at this,
at
and
this, and this.
And he handled it well. Credit to him.
Yeah, he did.
I deserve to be down there. I made the error. I know what the team policies
and he played pretty well, I think.
Don't know. Didn't look. But he certainly was interviewed. Didn't shy away from the cameras either.
No. Ticking that box.
Let's go West Coast. I think this is my last one.
It is.
West Coast Eagles. Well, it's going to be on a big fullback with Tom Brass going.
Gov.
No.
Harry Edwards.
Harry Edwards.
Yeah.
I saw Harry Jones.
You're in
Harry
Edwards. Nick areas there. That guy.
Matt Edwards.
Big,
Harry Edwards.
Big Matt.
Because they're not going to be good again next year, West Coast.
No.
And Tom and Gov, TB and Gov, worked well enough that at times
They held up the damn wall.
Somehow. Bricks were falling out and they're popping them back in. I don't think he's got the ability to do that.
Well, he's not Tom Barras at this point in his career.
No, and I think it's either going to be a little bit. Remember when Zach Dawson got 8, 9 kicked on him? I think Nathan Thompson got a hold of him. I reckon Rocker might have got hold of him once
for sure.
as well.
Yeah.
I reckon next year, at times, if that midfield, which I think has been pretty disappointing, or clearly disappointing, if they can't hold up their end of the bargain, I feel like poor old Harry's going to be the one that gets the microscope put on him because you're the last line. And unfortunately for him, I don't think he's got the attributes that the other ones do. So I reckon next year, by the end of next year, he's got to have played all 22 games. I'm not even going to say 23, 24. Played all 22 games. And if he hasn't gone from a C to a B, I think they need to go again and find it.
Well, I do think they're on the lookout
or a
for
D to
some
it.
experienced fullbacks,
Who?
like low cost.
Who?
Tom Cleary might be one they're looking at. Port Adelaide.
He's still playing.
Yeah. He's not
he's just
retired.
been way out of favour. So someone like that who they might be able to just pluck and put in there. Yeah, go have a look. Tom Cleary, he's on the list.
I just assumed he's not the
So
captain
you-
anymore.
I think they looked at the Borlays.
I just assumed because he's not the captain anymore.
What?
he hasn't been the captain for a while, has he?
He's
That's
never
Tom
been
Jonas.
captain.
Oh, I'm thinking of Tom Jonas.
Tom Cleary.
Wrong,
It's been
Tom.
a big couple of minutes for Tom Cleary. The other one they looked at was James Borlays, the big shoulders
He
bloke.
just signed for
Yeah,
Adelaide
so
for
he's not
couple of
going
years.
anywhere. Yeah. Have you looked it up yet?
No, it's coming up with
But
Tom,
you can also
Tom
find-
Curry, English rugby league player.
You can generally find a good, like, second division key back who can
Well,
do a role.
I think that's what they're thinking Tom Cleary is. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Played all the year in the Sandford.
Yeah, there's all those state league.
I'm not
ones
saying
that
they're
have a
going
great year.
to do it, but I think that's where they're thinking.
Yeah,
In case
okay.
the Harry thing doesn't work, we've
How
got
do you
some-
spell his name?
Tom.
Yeah, I've got that part.
Clurey.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
Clurey.
This is a great podcast.
This is
I
excellent.
found him. I
Yeah.
found him.
Yeah, I told you.
Yeah.
He's fine.
Yeah,
He's old
193 centimetres,
Yeah.
0 games.
Here he comes.
That's me.
No? Oh, yeah.
So Gold Coast. I'm not
talking
following
about Mac?
I'm not following the form. Yeah. I was-
Nine,
I
10?
was going to say I'm not going to follow the format. I want to talk about Dustin Martin.
Because they've got a big going on this
I
week.
want to talk about Mac too at the end.
Well, let's talk about Big Mac at the end too. So Dustin Martin apparently rings them and says, "Hey, how about it?" It's kind of like the equivalent of like,
It's exactly what Dimmer did.
imagine you're like a teenage boy, right?
Yeah.
And I remember being 15 and
She's older
I'm thinking
days.
Elle
Yeah.
McPherson was at the tail end of her prime, but still super hot.
I used to watch the Fashion Channel and hope for the bikinis being modeled.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Midnight
SBS,
Hot.
Lingerie.
late night SBS
Yeah.
movies, hit record.
British sex, that used to be one of the shows.
Right. British sex. Jesus. So Elle McPherson at the edge of her prime, as you're a 15, she gives you a call and says, "How about it?" Now you're jumping at that. You are absolutely jumping at that, right?
Mate, she's still in her prime in my eyes.
It's a crime for
This
Elle.
is the equivalent of Gold Coast, this club who's still a teenager in many ways, getting a phone call from this once supermodel who's now still pretty good, but at the tail end of the prime. You are absolutely doing it. There's no part of Gold Coast who's going to say no to this.
No.
So if Dusty's ringing saying, "How about it?" It's going to happen.
Yeah, of course.
Well, what are they going to say? No.
And what are they going to pretend? They're pretending like this just happened.
And
Oh,
they're also
yeah.
pretending.
Same as Dimmer.
but
Dimmer
they're
just
also
called him and said,
pretending
guess
that
what? You can
they're not part
retire
of it.
mid-season and then come to Gold Coast like I did. The exact same thing.
Well, and the whole like,
Go to Europe.
we'll have a look at it. We'll think about it.
Yeah.
Is he really committed or is he just bored? The season ended 2 weeks ago. It's not
This-
like...
it's all about the narrative. So the narrative is he wants to come. We're going to think about it. Jeez, he's in good shape.
Oh, yeah,
Him and
we will
Dimmer-
take him on.
Dimmer's really got a lot of belief.
Yeah. That's
a
It's just
favour.
as inevitable, okay? It's just inevitable. It's happening, all right? It's happening. Now,
What do
Big
you
Mac.
expect?
What about Big Mac?
Big Mac.
Oh, Big Mac. Remember I made that statement, you win the Coleman?
Yeah,
he did.
He's got to win 6 of them now.
He did.
And then get a trigger.
He better win it.
So is it 6 and then 4, or is it 5 and then 4?
I think because he's already contracted for next year.
Oh, okay.
So
Gotcha.
I think
So it's technically a 9-year extension. But
Would
it's 10.
you be surprised, in all seriousness, if Mac Andrew was a top 10 player in that next 6 years in the comp?
Would I be surprised?
Because I made a bet with someone for 10 cartons.
10 cartons.
Yeah, Em's brother Dan.
He
He hates Mac.
Really?
I like
Oh, yeah.
Mac, but I don't.
He's upside. There's
Wouldn't
no one in the
shock me.
comp
Yeah,
with more
yeah.
upside. No one.
Yeah, but is it a guarantee?
It's not a guarantee.
No, it's not a guarantee, but there's no one in the comp with more upside.
I think Harley's got bigger upside.
No.
No.
What?
Harley, you know what Harley is
Harley's a
going to be.
midfielder, mate.
You know what he's going to be.
Do you think there's a way that Harley has Mac Andrew has
Harley
a better
could win
career?
Brownlows and stuff, but I'll take a bloke that wins Coleman.
So right now, we're sitting here. There's a draft. Everything's clean.
Is Mac
What?
20?
You're taking
Is Mac 20?
2021.
You're taking
Somewhere around there.
I think he's 20.
You're taking Mac over Harley in this draft.
Who's in my midfield order currently?
No. Clean slates.
Where I sit in the premiership window.
I can't
Well-
believe you're even thinking about it.
Well, the man's been on the Gold Coast, so you haven't been pestering him for
I love Mac
endlessly for 12 months.
Oh, so you think because
So
of the media coverage,
well,
you're
you're-
thinking about not
Yeah.
taking
Well, you
Harley.
haven't followed Mac.
Where's your club based?
You haven't followed Mac.
He's 20. Sorry, he's 20. yeah.
20. Oh, shit. It's toss of the coin, probably Mac.
Oh, my God. Can we keep that audio ready
Well,
to
clearly people agree with me.
His upside
They're
is
giving him
there.
15 million.
go? Wait till you see what Harley gets.
And it's also funny
Well,
because
I'll
Melbourne
wait
didn't get
till
him.
Tom Morris tweets it because you won't.
Oh, fizz off. You can't
He's-
report on a story that's not there. That's all I'll say.
Well,
Well, he's leaving then.
No, I
The
didn't
stories
say that.
aren't there until
I
they're
didn't say
reported.
He's
that.
leaving.
I didn't. He's
Say
got,
it.
he's
Give
got
us
2
something.
more years.
Give us a bone for Scott's sake.
He's got 2
No,
more
no, no.
years.
Give us a story anywhere in
I-
Australia.
I'm not going to give you one that doesn't exist.
he in
There's
Tongala currently?
Two stories in the bloody world in Perth at the moment. You've gone with Tom Cleary. Give us something. No
can't-
coach, best player hasn't signed.
So wait, you're comfortable with the Mac Andrews contract?
Yeah, love it.
A 10-year deal?
Love it. No, it was 5 to start with.
Yeah, does it?
Yeah.
No, have you seen the trigger?
What's the trigger?
60 games
Over the whole
it's-
5 years?
It's basically
Gee, that's not a bad clause to put in there.
It's just a concussion
so,
one.
Yeah, so they see his upside as well as I do.
Yeah.
They're like, if he's not dead,
So it's a
he's
con-
going to be it's a home run.
so you're okay with it.
You guys will come back here. We'll be doing this in 6
I'm
years'
not
time.
anti-Mac.
And you'll be going,
Wait, no,
we'll all be
no.
drinking long Macs.
No,
Yeah.
we love Mac. You have
That's a great
You have
name
crossed
for
over
him.
to the side of insanity.
Well, I said last week, I said about 2 months ago he could win the Coleman next year.
You really have crossed over.
He
You've lost the plot.
has Long Mac, has that been used as a nickname? Because that's great. Because he's quite a long fella. Long limbs, Long Mac.
Please.
And he's now been topped up.
Good time.
Next. When did the timer go off?
Who's
About an hour ago.
Can we just bullet whoever the other team is?
It's St Kilda and it's
Yeah,
going to
oh,
be hey, boy, Max
stick 'em,
King.
stick
Max
'em,
King.
bullet
How
him.
Max King? How many goals do you reckon he kicked this year?
Far out.
30.
We need to end
Max
the season.
King?
The season's over now. That's
Max
gotta
King
be the
kicked
last.
19 goals.
This has got to
this
be the
year.
last episode for the year. It has to be.
Oh, we'll do an
No, we
episode
go-
when you break one of those 2 stories. I'm
Yeah,
up.
we'll do a
So-
Harley.
so
we'll do
it
a
will
whole
be the
one
last
of.
one for the year.
We'll do a whole one of. Would you take this person over Mac Andrews?
Do you not feel as though you're going to land those stories?
Everyone's in the mix. Who knows?
Oh, wow.
Frame a market for me.
For which story?
You got to be confident, mate.
I'm not framing my own market.
Well, let's go coach because that'll be first.
I'm not doing that. You
Here,
can
no,
frame
Ryan,
it.
I'll get the coach.
You frame the market.
Well, who's in the race?
Everyone's in the race. Coaches are off. There's no border jurisdiction on coaches. There's only 18 of them right now.
Yeah, no.
So
Sorry,
anyone
who's
can
in
be
the
a
race?
coach.
Who's at a
So
coffee?
who are we expecting? What names are we
Stephen
expecting?
King and Andrew McQualter. You know, there's some Danny
Danny
Daly,
Daly.
buzz, but I think that's more of a
No,
different role.
it won't be Danny Daly.
Oh, no. What's
I
happened?
think that's. I don't think Brett Montgomery's
Nah.
in the last couple. So that's. What, are we framing a market for who's going to break it or who's going to get it?
Who's going to get it first?
Oh, I thought you meant who's going to break
No.
it.
No, we
yeah,
know
yeah.
Tom Morris will break it.
Oh, piss off. Piss off.
All right, it's been the Hardball Gets AFL show. We'll see you next time.